Angel Beats was one of the most beloved and most popular anime at the time of its airing. But what you might not know is that the Angel Beats anime actually has a visual novel game adaptation, one with plenty of optional choices, extra story content, and even character routes to some beloved characters. So then, why did no one play it? Compared to many other popular key visual novels, not many people read this one. In fact, this video might even be the first time you have ever heard of the Angel Beats anime being adapted into a visual novel. Hi, my name is August, and this is my coverage of this long-forgotten key game, in order to get to the bottom of 3 questions. What exactly is in the Angel Beats visual novel? How does it differ from the anime? And is it even worth playing the Angel Beats visual novel, despite it being the only one of a cancelled series? For those not aware or need a refresher, Angel Beats is a 2010 original anime series written by Jun Maeda and produced by PA Works. Set in a mysterious afterlife high school, the story follows Otonashi as he wakes up in this strange world with no memories of his past life. Immediately, he meets Yuri Nakamura, the leader of the Afterlife Battlefront, an organization dedicated towards fighting Angel, a quiet and mysterious girl who they believe to be an agent of God sent to erase them. Of course, while there are serious moments, a real tearjerker to anyone who watched this so long ago, everyone very much remembers Angel Beats' wacky antics and colorful characters. And you'll be glad to know this 2015 visual novel doubles down on it. Angel Beats' first beat is a load of fun simply because there are so many optional choices in here. Plenty of gag joke answers of various degrees of absurdity. What's also really interesting is that because Otonashi has lost his memory, he is essentially a blank slate, a canvas for the reader to make Otonashi's personality into whatever they want. Whether it's an easily dismissive and exasperated individual, a daring, passionate skirt chaser, or weirdly homoerotic towards Hinata. There's a damn achievement for that last one too. Honestly, I just think I'm understating just how many choices there are in here. There's plenty of absurd, comical, and just outright odd interactions by practically every member of the cast. Even those who didn't get much spotlight in the anime has their own moments to shine, both compassionately and just as outright goobers. Really, it was such a shame that the anime didn't cover more of the Girls Dead Monsters band, because they never told us about Sekine Shiori, the biggest jokester gremlin enabler in this entire game. Just look at her dumbass cocky expressions. They also never told us about Hisako, the ticking nuclear time bomb that actually was set off in episode 4, but no one saw it. Turns out, Yuri isn't the only one with a horrific, tragic backstory, out of the ones revealed in this game. Throwaway gag choices aside, there are actually some decisions that will majorly alter the story. Pretty amusing ones too. Like, what happens if you don't break out of jail with Kanade? Or, what happens if you choose not to regain Otonashi's memories? Or, what happens if you don't choose to join the Afterlife Battlefront at all? It's a neat addition to Angel Beats to see more content this way too, just to see what exactly happens if you don't do the quote-unquote correct thing for the given situation. This is important because these choices also affect character-specific routes as well, such as, what exactly happens if you save Iwasawa before she disappears? While Angel Beats' first beat covers the anime's main story, the visual novel also has character routes, specifically Iwasawa, Masushita, and Yui. For Iwasawa, this is especially noteworthy because she dropped out of the show super early in episode 3, which was like really disappointing personally because she was one of the best characters. Thankfully, in here, we get to see more of her, both in casual slice-of-life interactions and intimate moments. The latter being more of her personal feelings regarding her own life and alternative scenes, an extension/variation to her original regrets that we saw in the anime. Iwasawa is a really unique case in how the Angel Beats story actually splits off to cater to her. It's definitely something worth reading to find out what happens. I will say though, there's a couple of bold writing decisions in here, arguably very ham-fisted, but regardless, it's a surprisingly heartwarming story turned bittersweet at the very end. You thought things would end happy? In a way, yes, but I mean, come on, it's a key title, what do you expect? As for Masushita and Yui, the story's more streamlined. You could say that the original Angel Beats story is the common route like in most visual novels, and their character routes are at the end of that, given you choose to hang out with them. You'll just be subjected to all of their wacky antics. Someone apparently turned the craziness dial up to 11 for Yui, someone who was already off their rocker. Now, Yui's route directly copies her focus episode, but one of the biggest differences and clear highlights from the anime to the visual novel is that it adds extra content context to characters. Without giving too much away, we are given more depth in the form of background information and inner monologues that makes a certain person's actions hit much harder. The anime never gave us any hint of that deeper context. The visual novel basically fills in the missing gaps in the anime, as well as adding additional development to characters who weren't given any screen time. To be honest, at first I was like, why choose this guy of all people? Matsushita Godan, a behemoth of a man, someone twice the size and twice as physically strong as Kanade, but still dies to a hand Sonic. Honestly, that's all I remembered him for. But then I realized, as I slowly read his route, not just Yuri, but everyone in the Afterlife battlefront has their own vendetta against God. Masashita's backstory was one of the most welcome surprises in here. Through his personal retelling of his own circumstances, it really provided a lot more depth into his character, quirks, and life philosophy. Him opening up his heart in the way it was written made me really sympathetic towards his plight by the end of his story, and made me even more eager to help him out, just like Otonashi. Through Iwasawa, Yui, and Masashita, or really any of the characters that the visual novel explores, I fully understand what my stance is on Angel Beats as a title, and this visual novel makes it definitely clear. I really like Angel Beats. It's a genuinely great story with great characters. It sets the stage and then creates these standout empathetic moments that just land so well. In a world where these characters are arguably given a second chance at life, having faced painful hardships, they are now able to find personal closure to move forward. And for certain people, that comes out in the form of understanding and helping others. Just seeing how these characters act is just so inspirational and meaningful. It really is such a shame that it had to end up the way it did. Based off of this format and story writing, Angel Beats pretty much had a perfect formula for success as its own visual novel series. It was already popular, and Key could just release multiple games showcasing each of the characters and fully flesh them out, with backstories and everything. And that was actually the intent. However, due to complications and Jun Maida's health conditions at the time, the planned mega project unfortunately ended up being cancelled. With the time being long past the anime, marketing for the Angel Beats Beats series rapidly slowing down to a crawl, and the fact that the game never got an official translation, the show and the visual novel adaptation gradually disappeared from people's mind, only to be remembered as a beloved anime. Despite the initial plans for further releases, Key has not released any sequels to First Beat, and Jun Maida never returned to the series. Except in one special circumstance: the Angel Beats collaboration events in Heaven Burns Red. Heaven Burns Red is Key's mobile game RPG, and there have been 3 instances of the Angel Beats collaboration events, each one focusing on the remaining band members of Girls Dead Monster. And I would say that these collaboration events are a perfectly acceptable sequel to the original Angel Beats story, because not only does it take place after the original story of Angel Beats, but it explores the same themes and messages with the same emotional impact. It really is the unofficial continuation to the Angel Beats Beats series. So the real question you should be asking, is it even worth playing the Angel Beats First Beat visual novel despite it being the only one of its kind and it technically being incomplete? Well, for dedicated fans of Angel Beats, I can say it is well worth your time. And for anyone who hasn't seen Angel Beats, it's also a very good substitute too. The VN just doesn't cover the final 2 episodes from the anime. There's just one problem. The visual novel isn't officially available in English, so you have to go out of your way to read it, unfortunately. So I'm gonna tell you how to get it. Enable a VPN and change the location to Japan. Go to DMM or DL site and purchase the digital download from there, most likely through buying points. Go to Alka Translations, download the fan patch, and follow the install instructions there. Now, if you enjoyed this video and want to learn about more Key visual novels, you definitely want to check out this video over here. I would like to thank everyone on Patreon for supporting me in covering visual novels. You guys are fantastic, and if you would like to be a part of that effort, please consider subscribing.